Oh, we need to Google this too, because Mexico has a new president, and I heard that 30-plus presidential candidates were assassinated.
Oh.
That might be just a TikTok meme. So I have to find out. So let's find out in real time. But the sky, the reason why the sky is so cloudy looking, that's smoke from wildfires in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did a controlled burn, and they go, whoops.
Oh, boy.
They whoopsied. Whoops. Listen, 37, excuse me. Claudia Sheinbaum was elected the country's first female president after a bloody election campaign that saw 37 candidates assassinated. And that's our neighbor. Whoa. We live next to a fucking crack house.
That's on fire.
A crack house on fire run by a Jew. First lady. More than 36 candidates were assassinated, including a local government candidate in central Puebla State who was killed on Friday, increasing the total number of those killed to 37. Who the fuck would want to run for office in Mexico?
Dude.
That is so crazy. That's so crazy. And look how few people. Look, 20,000 positions to fill and 70,000 candidates. If you have 20,000 positions in America, how many candidates do you have? Probably a lot more because nobody's getting assassinated. Right. That would be one way to start thinning the herd.
Yeah. Taking them out.
I mean, how far away? I mean, it sounds crazy, right? This is Mexico. It's not America. We don't. How far away are we from, like, seeing another JFK type situation?
Man. I mean, Jesus. Fuck. Could be close. Seems like there's a candidate that the government really doesn't want.
Yeah, there's one guy. What's his name?
Yeah.
One guy who went to the UFC this weekend and got like a 30-second standing ovation.
Yep.
Almost as big as Dave in Ohio, but not quite.
Right.
Not quite.
They're changing the tone on this. I mean, like, you know, they're doing it. They want to try to make him look like a bad guy, but people just aren't stupid anymore. I mean, there's obviously still like half the country doesn't get it, but
yo, so many rappers. So many rappers are showing support for Trump now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because now he's got a felony.
Right.
I mean, like, now they realize also he's getting trapped by the system, just like everybody's been rapping about. Being trapped by the system, this bullshit system. And you watch it happen with him.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just talking about this. It's like I don't think they were counting on the black voter being like, hey, they just fucked that guy. That's what they do to us.
Yeah, this is what they do to everybody, and they pretend they're there for you while they're letting in immigrants. And you know what, man? Here's the problem. Here's the real problem. Republicans won't be the solution either, kids. The problem is people in a position of power. The Republicans seem like they are your solution, but it's just because the people in power right now are the Democrats. Whenever the Democrats are out and the Republicans are in, everybody is dying for a Democrat. I remember when Bush was president, after the second term, everybody was like, good Lord, can we get a fucking reasonable Democrat in here before this country goes Christian nationalist and goes crazy and starts every war?
Yeah.
And then Obama comes in like, oh, things are going to be great. But it kind of seems like kind of the same, you know? And the whistleblower protection that he promised, actually probably like one of the worst on whistleblowers ever. Drone strikes, kind of a shitload of drone strikes.
Yeah.
The whole thing was bonkers. It's just the same structure with a different face. It's Bill Hicks's joke. Bill Hicks's joke about, I think the puppet on the left is to my liking. Yeah. Well, I'm more aligned with the puppet on the right. Hey, there's one guy and he's holding both puppets. That's happening in Mexico, kids. 37 candidates assassinated. That is basically the doorway to Mad Max.
That's crazy.
37 candidates assassinated.
And all to
Imagine if that was happening in America.
Well, what's scary is like, what is that lady? That the question becomes, what's the winner gonna do? That the other 37 weren't gonna do.
You're not gonna be a rebel. Rebels don't live.
Right.
You know, that country's run by money, just like this country's run by money. But instead of the military-industrial complex, it's the supplying Americans with drugs.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That complex. Yeah. It's not the military-industrial complex and the pharmaceutical drug companies. They run this. It's just money. It's the same thing. And in Mexico, they make their own laws because everything's illegal. And so they are running things with selling us drugs. And until we make drugs legal, which nobody wants to do, that's going to continue to happen. Because you're not going to stop people from wanting to do drugs, and you're not going to stop people from selling them drugs. You're not going to, especially if they're from another country, especially if they're running that country. And they've been doing it so long, they've amassed so much resources and money. They have tanks, they have anti-aircraft weaponry, they have everything, man. They have fucking hundreds of billions of dollars. Like, who knows how much money they have?
Right.
If you added up all the cartels in Mexico...
Well, I bet the Jewish president knows exactly how much money they have.
I bet she knows. I bet she knows. I bet they know where she sleeps, and I bet she follows the rules.
Yeah.
I guess you have to. Like, if you want to be president of Mexico, that is a totally different proposition. They Kennedy 37 people a year.
Oh my God.
They're so crazy.
Unbelievable how close we are to them.
Yeah, you could walk there.
Yeah.
You could walk there. Like, Cam Haines has run like longer distances in races, especially if you're down in South Texas. My friend who lives in South Texas had a guy die on his property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, probably dehydrated or sick or something. And he just couldn't make it. It was in the heat.
I only went to Mexico once. We were in San Diego, and we drove down, and the first thing I saw was a dead body leaning against the rock with its split that says this side's America, this side's Mexico.
Yeah.
And we were high as shit. So, like, we were immediately like, was he going back?
Did he drown?
Was he coming in? No, he was just dead. He was just a dead old Mexican guy.
Oh, like old age dead.
Well, probably I mean, it could have been anything. Who knows? I have no idea. But
you're not a doctor?
No, he was arms crossed with a thing over his head.
Oh, Jesus.
And
so they had him like
he was
laid there,
literally
arms crossed,
laid there
like a
next
corpse?
to the rock like a corpse.
Maybe somebody didn't have money for a funeral. They're like, hey, Grandpa's been real. Take care. Love you.
Yeah.
Let somebody figure this out.
Yeah, that's what
you know
we
how much
were.
money a fucking funeral costs? That's the thing Joey Diaz hit me to. He goes, you know what a fucking scam is? These fucking mortuary homes and the funeral homes and all that shit. You have to do it. You have to do it even if someone wants to be cremated. You have to embalm them, so you have to pay for that. And then you have to pay for a coffin. And then they try to upsell you. Don't you want a Cadillac of a coffin for Grampy? Grampy always liked red velvet. He was the king. He dressed Grampy up in his nicest suit in a red velvet, and it cost you $40,000 for the whole thing. You're like, what am I doing?